Do you find yourself in a perpetual state of problems, of drama, of crises, of poor health, of struggle in your life? Then I encourage you to consider how you define yourself might be part of the problem. Human beings have a tendency to want to define themselves. We love to give ourselves definitions, and once we do, we like to hold on to this identity for dear life. And most of the time, we're completely unaware of the identities and the definitions that we give to ourselves because we're doing so subconsciously. So my purpose with this video is to bring to your conscious awareness how you might be defining yourself and allowing you the opportunity to decide whether that definition, that identity is serving you and it's something you want to continue holding on to and keeping in your life, or whether it's contributing to more of what you don't want. So if you want to bring in more of what you do want into your life instead of more of what you don't want, then continue watching this video. Let me ask you a question. How often do you say to yourself, I am healthy, I am vibrant, I am energized, I am joyous, I am love, I am spirit, I'm grateful, I am abundant, I am blessed, I am strong, versus how often you notice the self-talk going, I am poor, I am tired, I am sick, I am unhappy, I am alone, I am unhealthy, I am unlucky, or perhaps you prefer using the words I am not healthy, I am not smart, I am not talented, I am not capable, I am not strong, etc. If you find yourself attaching the words I am to more of what you don't want in your life, that might be part of the problem. Whatever you attach I am to, it's your declaration. It's powerful. If you're a Christian, you should know this more than anyone because Jesus made it very clear in his teaching what I am meant and the power of I am. Scripture says that we will eat the fruit of our words. Your thoughts have more power than you might realize. And just because the words aren't spoken out loud does not mean that it won't materialize in your life. Your thoughts lead to your emotions, which lead to how you feel. And there's a lot of energy behind that. So the combination of what you think and how you feel is going to manifest in your life. And even science and medicine, they recognize this, the power of the thoughts in the mind. That's why they do these randomized clinical trials where they will have a sample group and they want to test a new pharmaceutical drug that maybe cures or treats an illness. And what they'll do is they'll give half the group randomly the medicine, the actual pill that is containing the medicine, and the other half of the group will get a sugar pill. So it's not having any medicine, it's not going to have any effect on them. And then they'll see what the effect is. This is how they really know how effective the drug can be. And what they'll often find is that the group that did not receive the medicine, somehow magically, their illness had improved. Sometimes just as much as the group who actually took the medicine. And so we call this the placebo effect. And this is a really powerful understanding. This shows us how powerful the mind is. Just the idea that, oh, I might be getting a medicine right now that's going to heal me, that's going to treat me, that's going to cure me. I might not be, but I might be getting it. Just the thought of potentially getting this medicine right now is enough for the body to have a physiological response of healing. So that just shows you the mind-body connection, that the mind and the body are not separate. And that should be very, very powerful to understand because it means that you have to be very aware of the thoughts in the mind and what those thoughts are telling the body. You can even do your own little experiment right now. So I want you to imagine a nice, juicy, tart lemon. And just imagine biting into it and just soaking in all that juice like the way you would bite into an orange. Now, does that make you salivate? If it does, you now have a personal example of the mind-body connection. You don't have to physically bite into something to have that physiological response. The mind doesn't always know truth from falsehood. So if you think of People who have irrational fears, like for example, the fear of clowns. For someone with a phobia like that, just the thought of clowns, not even seeing a clown in person, just the thought of clowns can actually put them into a high state of stress and anxiety and even lead to a panic attack. So the thought, the image in their mind, the thought of that results in a physiological response. So take a moment now to ask yourself, how do you define you? How do you define yourself? Have you created any identities for yourself that you may not have been aware of previously? For example, I know someone who is always sick. Whenever I message her, it's either the latest virus, the flu, and sometimes even illness and disease. And so this person has been, chronically sick on and off for decades. Every year they just don't catch a break. And so she's created an identity for herself as the sick girl. And when you talk to her, she will let you know about her medical history. She'll let you know of her series of unfortunate events, of always being sick. She talks about it all the time, openly and honestly. Now, this is where having some level of self-awareness plays in. Sometimes we hold on to something that we say we don't want because there's some sort of emotional payoff. So in her case, the emotional payoff was using her sickness as a way to connect with others. When she would talk about her sickness to others, she would notice that people would listen to her. People would empathize with her. People would feel sorry for her, and she would get this need of emotional connection met. So how does she ever expect to get better and to not be the sick girl if she unconsciously uses her sickness as a way to meet her emotional needs? So what she would need to do is to let go of this identity of being the sick girl, to stop defining herself in this way, stop talking about it with everyone, and to find a way to meet those emotional needs in another way that's really going to serve her more in her life. If you can relate with suffering from an illness, or if you are the sick girl, then let me ask you this. Do you want to be sick longer than is necessary? And it sounds like a rhetorical question, but I'm asking you to dig deep here to see if there's any emotional payoffs that maybe you're holding on to this identity so that you can get those needs met. And it's not always the case. I'm not saying it is in your situation, but it's something to consider. Now, I also know someone who's very close and dear to my heart who always has problems in her life. Now, from an outside perspective, her life looks pretty put together. She's retired. She owns her home. She's got money in the bank. She's got her kids growing up who love her. She's got good health. But when you speak with her, she has an unlimited amount of problems to share with you. So she'll start with her problems of the week, whatever happened that week, whether it was the heater breaking down or shoveling the snow or the carburetor breaking or whatever it was, the dog being sick. And then she'll move on to her own physiological problems, her illnesses, her neck kink, her eyes, whatever she hasn't been feeling good that week, her chronic headache. And then she'll end with all the problems of the world. She'll share the latest news episode, the problems all across the globe, and always reminding you that the future is bleak, that we don't have much to look forward to. So I'm always telling her, first, stop watching so much news. Second, the world has problems, I don't. Okay, the world is always going to be full of problems. Those problems don't have to become my problems unless I take them on, unless I choose to take them on. So she isn't able to see how beautiful life is because she's always looking for problems. She's seeking problems in her life. And you might think, why on earth would someone do that? If you have it so good, just enjoy your life. But again, there's an emotional payoff there. When she shares her problems with other people at some point in her life, I don't know if it was when she was a child, a teenager, at some point in her life, she learned that she can connect with people through problem sharing. And we can all kind of relate to this. When you complain, you sit with a group of ladies and you complain about your kids or your husband or the problems in life, everyone feels kind of sorry for you and everyone likes the gossip. But when life is so good for you and you have nothing to complain about, people don't want to hear about it. So there is, a level of connection that people get from sharing their problems. But you have to consider, how is that affecting my life? Am I manifesting these problems in my life because I'm speaking about them, because I'm giving them power? So as a result, this woman is in a chronic state of stress. And when your body is chronically stressed, the immune system is suppressed, and you might now have illnesses that manifest in your life. So I'm not asking you to live in denial about your health challenges or about world events. My approach is to address the issue by taking action. If I'm sick, I don't need to tell anyone about me being sick. I will just take all the necessary steps to address my recovery. So I will do what I got to do to get better, whether it's taking certain supplements, drinking certain juices, being healthy, making smarter food choices, going on a fast, taking medicine, whatever I got to do, I'm going to do that. And I'm going to take action. And all the while, I'm going to do that without attaching myself to the sickness, without attaching myself to the identity of being sick. And this way, I don't allow the sickness to have power over me. I'm in control. And if there's a problem in the world that you feel passionately towards, that's a beautiful thing. So you can take action by taking steps to help resolve it in whatever way you feel is necessary. But you do that without taking on the problem as your problem. You have to understand the distinguishment here. It's a problem, and you can certainly attempt to help resolve it, but it's not your problem. And in fact, you'll find that you'll be more effective when you take this approach. So I chose to record this video today because I started my morning off with a beautiful meditation. And in the meditation, I became aware of the self-talk and how I'm bringing in more of what I want in my life by using the I am words and attaching I am to what it is that I do want. I'm never attaching I am to what I lack or what I don't want, because then I'm bringing energy to that. I'm bringing life to that. I don't want that. That's how you're going to get more of what you don't want in your life. And unfortunately, a lot of us throughout the day, we're always thinking about the things that we don't want. Oh, I can't afford this. Oh, I'm too poor. Oh, I don't have the resources, all the things that we don't want. And so you're bringing energy to those things. You're bringing your focus to those things. And so instead what I do is I give thanks to God, and I give thanks for what I do have. And I also give thanks for what I want. I assume the blessings that are to come. So remember that you can be your greatest limitation, and you can limit yourself by your own definition. So your thoughts are powerful enough to invoke physiological changes. Imagine how powerful your words can be. There's a great book by Don Miguel Ruiz called The 4 Agreements. I recommend you guys get it. And the first agreement is be impeccable with your word, because your words are extremely important. So my question for you is, how do you define yourself? Maybe you caught a definition that's holding you back from what you really want in your life. Or maybe you have a really amazing way of defining yourself that's really serving you in your life. I want to hear about it in the comments section below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a beautiful day.